I started Blackbox to basically help bring really successful and ambitious entrepreneurs together. And I thought if we have an environment that is home-like, it's more like the ultimate water cooler concept. You know how in the companies a lot of the best ideas happens around the water cooler.
Yeah.
And this is because people connect with other people on basic, commonalities that they have, and they feel comfortable exploring and being creative and sharing ideas. And I thought if we have a big environment like a house that bring these entrepreneurs who've been successful in the past and put them together, a lot of good ideas could come out of that. So that was the beginning of it. And what I do is I built some programs to basically be tailored specifically to help entrepreneurs from outside of the US gain access to resources in Silicon Valley, learn about the best practices of how to build startups, how to launch globally, and fundraise from here and get mentors, advisors, and board members. Because there's a lot of talent all around the world, and it's unfair for a great entrepreneur outside of the US not to have access to a lot of the free and available resources that they're here just happens by walking downtown Palo Alto. You may meet some people in a cafe and get a lot of value. So no one else is focusing exclusively on international entrepreneurs. So I thought this would be a good positioning for us. There's a lot of different advantages and disadvantages. I mean, the best part is whatever disadvantage that they have, once they come and spend a couple of weeks in Silicon Valley, there's a lot of changes that they do, and they can adapt and learn to take advantage of the good things that happens here. The main things usually is fear of the international entrepreneurs. They don't have the big visions that most people in Silicon Valley do. The ability to think big and to have really audacious goals and to think that you could do big things. We have a full ecosystem that supports you and make things happen here. European entrepreneurs haven't had that much of examples many times to understand that that's possible. So that's one of the key things. It's more of a culture of sharing and helping here in Silicon Valley, where it's a little bit they lack a little bit of trust and collaboration outside of Silicon Valley. The market is and the product are not the most important thing that I look at, and sometimes it makes sense for a certain company to be focusing on their local market first, and then to test the validity of the problem and the solution that they're creating. And so it's more the interest is ideally for people who have product that would address global markets. So what we do is we have a 2 weeks program called Blackbox Connect. This is the program that we bring select entrepreneur. We choose from tens and hundreds of entrepreneurs that they apply, and we select a dozen or so who would come and spend 2 weeks in Silicon Valley, and they get a very condensed experience of the resources and how things are done here, and they meet a lot of good people that they could build relationships with. Out of this Blackbox Connect, we've done it twice last year, and we're going to do it 4 times this year. Typically, we select some companies that we help them with extended period of time, and we work with them on a 12 months program, help them set up business here to have a co-presence in Silicon Valley, not to necessarily to move permanently here, but we provide the house, the workspace, so they could come back and forth and build the relationships, build the partnerships, and launch from Silicon Valley as well. A lot of the countries that we see, I would say the majority have coming from Europe, maybe Central and Eastern Europe. We've seen a lot of great entrepreneurs from Russia and from Poland and Czech and Romania, and a lot from Scandinavia. We have worked with a lot of great entrepreneurs from Denmark and Sweden and Norway. So all over Europe, France and Italy. We've had, in the last batch, we've had also a woman founder from Saudi Arabia. So we focus on a global, we're open to the global entrepreneurs, wherever they're from, but we get a lot of interest coming from Europe right now. So primarily it's about the founders. To me, I look at the reasons the founders are building what they're building, what's their interest, what's their background, and what's motivating them, and what do they accomplish. what problem they're trying to solve. So we're not necessarily much focused on specific market or industry. Like I said, it's primarily of ambitious, disruptive entrepreneur with big visions, and that's the selections that we look for, and primarily, you know, good founders who know themselves well, who understand their strength and their liabilities, and willing to learn and adapt and grow. So that's what we look for. The most important thing is to have a business, working business with clients. We want companies that they've already launched product, they're getting feedback from customers. That's a primary criteria that we look for the companies that we work with. So as early as possible, as long as they put something out, they've created something and they're getting some feedback. So we work with them into helping them formalize and scale and take it to the next level. I don't see much difference in terms of female entrepreneurs from the U.S. versus other countries. I think there's not the majority of entrepreneurs are male, and a lot of theories behind that. And but I've met and worked with several great female entrepreneurs. So you know, I think what determines success is really the level of determination and you know, when a female entrepreneur or a male entrepreneur, they have a really they're more like obsessed with solving certain problems. So that's what's most important. And there are many great entrepreneurs who understand certain problems that they've dealt with it themselves, and they are creating solutions to address those problems. That's a great basis to build successful business when you're committed because you have some emotional connection to the problem that you're solving. So there's a lot of great examples of female entrepreneurs, but it's the majority still is male entrepreneur, and you know, so much in here. I don't know what to start. What's the reason behind it? There are probably more. I think in general there are probably more entrepreneurs in the United States than the other countries. It's, you know, this is the American dream, the opportunity, and all of that kind of things. I'd say go for it. I mean, it's just like I would say to the same thing of any entrepreneur. If you really believe in making a difference, and you have an idea about something that you want to solve, you have a problem that you've identified, and it's something that it can't skip your mind all day. You think about these things, go for it, and don't let that stop you. And you know, I've heard it from many successful entrepreneurs. It's taking the first step and diving in is usually what's the biggest fear. So step in and try. You got nothing to lose. If you fail, you can try again, and you could learn from your failure.
Right, Fadi, thanks so much for the great interview.
You're welcome. Thank you.